Hey everyone, this is Walter here once again, and we're back with more stories that were posted to Reddit. In these videos, we cover relationships between people, whether they're romantic or not. They're usually from places like Reddit relationships or Am I the Asshole, but I'll probably use stories from anywhere else if I like them. Let's just get into it with relationship problems from Reddit. This story comes to us from Am I the Asshole, and I wrote 3 exclamation points after the title in my notes, so I guess I better cover it. Am I the asshole? 7 years ago, I, 35 female, lost my husband, daughter, and mother to a car accident. They were hit by a drunk driver that drove through a red light and killed all of them on impact. Their deaths greatly affected me, and if it weren't for my friends and years of therapy, I would be in a much lower place. I am very thankful for their support and have been able to process my grief properly. 2 years ago, I took a job offer that provided more benefits than my current one, and moved far away from my city to another. I travel back to occasionally meet up with friends and of course to visit my family's graves on their death anniversary. It is a 7-hour car ride, or around an hour by plane. Due to COVID, last year I drove to avoid contact with people and stayed at my old house. This year I planned to do the same thing, but ran into an issue with my friend having her wedding in my old city. My friend Amy, 33 female, fake name, announced she was engaged last year to her boyfriend of 3 months. My friend group and I were quite shocked as we never even met him, nor did we know she was dating anyone as we usually tell each other, but nonetheless we congratulated her and were happy for her. They were supposed to have their wedding last year but couldn't due to COVID and postponed it to this year. We are not in US by the way, and COVID cases are now less than 10 here in my country. We are allowed gatherings of less than 15 people, and that is what Amy decided to do for her wedding. About a week ago, Amy called me privately to tell me her plans for the wedding. She told me that she is having it on the same day of my family's death anniversary and would like me to not visit their graves and just attend the wedding instead. I was quite shocked that the wedding was planned that specific day, and questioned as to why she picked that day. Amy told me she just liked the numbered date and told me that I can't just gatekeep a certain day. Then I asked her why can't I go visit my family's grave. She told me that she doesn't want my sadness and grief to take the attention at her wedding. I was incredibly stunned at what she said. I know I am quite emotional, but I know how to compose myself and behave myself at certain events. Here's where I think I am the asshole. I told Amy that unfortunately I will not miss out on visiting my family's graves. I tried to ask for a compromise and told her if my emotions were that much of a problem, I'll attend their graves after the wedding is over. She said she wants my support for the entire day and dedicate it towards her, but she'll think about my offer. It's been a week and I have not heard from her. I feel like I should just go to the wedding to keep the peace as I owe it to her, especially after all the support and love she gave me after my family's death. But it still doesn't feel right that I just attend the wedding and forget about my family. Would I be an asshole if I told her I won't be attending the wedding at all if she hasn't reached a decision? There's really just no words for this. I'm sure anyone hearing this realized there's some bullshit going on. Hello Reddit, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who replied. I was not expecting my post to get this level of attention. I have read all of your comments and thank you once again. I am in tears and became an emotional mess after reading your thoughtful responses. Thank you for the love and support. I have always felt as some sort of emotional burden to my friends, so thank you for your encouraging messages and telling me to keep my head up high. Even though we are all strangers on the internet, it sort of felt like I had gained new family. My heart goes out to the people who have messaged me privately of their experiences with losing their loved ones to drunk driving as well. Please know I have felt your pain. You are not alone in this, and I wish you all the love in the world. Now for the update. I did what some of you suggested and called my other friends to let them know what Amy had asked of me. They were quite livid and angry for me as they had no idea what Amy was planning for the wedding. We arranged a Zoom call with her the next day to discuss why she is being so insensitive to me. Well, the call was quite the battle. It started off calm, then Amy just blew up. You guys were right when you said that Amy was jealous of the attention that I had received during the time of my family's death anniversary. Her wedding was a way to shift the attention towards her. She tried to explain to us that by having the wedding on that day it will turn a negative situation into a positive one. When she realized she wasn't convincing enough, it felt as though a mask had fallen from her face and she started yelling and insulting me. She said that she is tired of having to play the supportive friend role and that it's been 7 years, I should just get over it by now or go join my family in the ground. My friends lost their anger and called her every name in the book. I am honestly just shocked and disappointed at the person who used to be my friend. It breaks my heart knowing I lost another person in my life, but I guess you guys are right in the sense that she never really was a friend. I now look back at our friendship and realize it was often one-sided on my part. I wish it didn't take me so long to realize it. No one in our friend group of 6 people are going to her wedding now. We have decided to go no contact with Amy and block her on all social media. My friends have offered to go visit my family's graves together with me. I accepted, and we are now planning to also make a scrapbook with my family's pictures. For once, I am actually looking forward to this day and will start to plan more eventful activities like this. Thank you once again to everyone for helping me through this. And please remember, do not drink and drive. I am begging you, please don't. Please drink responsibly and drive safely, everyone. It's not like it's new to see someone need attention this much in the stories I cover. My last video was about Two Worlds, and he was just out of control with his attention seeking. But it's amazing that she was able to say any of this shit. She was so much the asshole that her entire friend group cut contact with her. Now how's she going to get attention? Am I the asshole for no longer making my husband sandwiches to take to work after discovering he was selling them? My, female 33, husband, male 37, works at an advertising company. We're struggling a bit financially because we're saving up to purchase a new apartment. He is used to eating fast food, and it was costly. He had no problem spending money daily on fast food, and after doing the math, he spends more than $300 a month on just fast food, $20 daily. We live in an expensive area. I talked to him about it. He agreed that I make sandwiches for him to take with him to work. That way he eats healthy and we spare money for rent. Everything was going on well. I noticed he wouldn't respond when I asked him whether he liked the sandwiches I make, but kept asking me to make more than 2 since he was hungry. Yesterday, he came home with his friend and coworker. We sat at the dinner table and his friend brought up the sandwiches I make for my husband, and how delicious they are. I thanked him, then he said the price was a bit much. I was confused, so I asked him to explain, and he said my husband sells the sandwiches I make to his coworkers, then goes to buy his own lunch from the restaurant. I was stunned. My husband denied it. I began arguing with him after his friend left. He said there was nothing wrong with it. I told him I will no longer be making him sandwiches if he's selling them to buy fast food. He defended himself, calling this an overreaction since he's not spending money on fast food, and said I was being unfair to start an argument over this. I just walked into the bedroom and stayed there. Then he said I owe him an apology for God knows what, and he didn't think it was acceptable of me to lash out and say I won't make him sandwiches anymore. Yes, I couldn't help but feel that it was disrespectful of him. He ignored that I make so much efforts trying to make him a variety of sandwiches, and taking time at night to prepare everything, not to mention going to the grocery store and buying the things he prefers. He makes about $15 a day by selling sandwiches and goes to buy his lunch from the restaurant. He said I shouldn't feel mad since he's making his own money to buy his own lunch, but I'm not accepting what he did. I'm hurt and I wish he understood how I felt. Man, I love a good sandwich story. Remember the guy who wanted to sell his recipe and take a ludicrous commission every time someone made one? Or how about the fat guy who ate several feet of a party sub while his friends weren't looking? I'm having some trouble figuring out the logistics on this one. I feel like they must be pretty good sandwiches to sell for that much, and would such a high quality sandwich even save money over fast food? If there's really that much excitement around these sandwiches, maybe she should be selling them. Anyway, yeah, the guy's being an asshole and using supreme logic to argue. I didn't technically do anything wrong, kind of. Hey, it's another one with 3 exclamation points, this time from Reddit Relationships. I've, 23 female, been living with my boyfriend, 23 male, for a year. His constant sayings and idioms, that's the way the cookie bounces, it's not rocket surgery, etc., drive me insane. He thinks my frustration is funny and won't stop. How do we solve this? Background: I've been with Josh since we were 19 and college freshmen. Last year about this time, both of us were looking forward to graduating in June. We both had jobs lined up in our college town, and to save expenses we decided to go ahead and get an apartment together. I was not totally sold, because while I love Josh, I don't want to limit myself. I've lived in the same 50-mile radius my entire life. I've only dated 2 guys, and my job is the one that could see me sitting at the same desk for 35 years. I want to see the world and experience so much more, so despite my reservations, I agreed to move in with Josh. Josh is sort of a class clown character, and I have to admit, when I'm not around him all the time, he is very funny. And people tend to love him, and love him around. For the most part, despite me being an introvert and him being an extreme extrovert, we get along really well. The one main thing that has gotten to me in the last months or so is his repeated idioms. I mean, he uses them constantly. He always thinks he's being so clever by mixing them up like I mentioned in the title, as well as, it's raining snakes and rats, and that's a bitter ace. I could literally go on for days typing them out. but as an estimate, I'd say that in the 4 to 5 hours we're together without sleeping every day, I hear 25 to 50 of his sayings. I'm so frustrated with them, my head feels like it's going to screw off at my neck. I literally can't bear to hear another one. I find myself moving rooms in the evening just to be away from him. I tried to talk to him about it, and his exact quote was, "I guess my barking up the wrong tree are frustrating you like the drop of a hat," to which he laughed. I actually was so mad that he wasn't taking me seriously, I tipped over our coffee table and threw pillows at him in serious anger. He thought my anger was even funnier after I did that. This was Wednesday night, and at least until now, I can't stand the sight of him and don't want to see him. I plan on going to my parents' house for the weekend. Does anyone have any recommendations on a long-term solution to this? My solution is he just stops doing it, but he won't take me seriously. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have a solution to that one. Kinda makes me want to start saying some of those things. I think I said it's not rocket surgery in one of my videos once. People in the comments thought it was hilarious. The internet loves dad jokes. Let me know what you think in the comments if you'd like, but that is about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say, once again, I sure hope you let me hear it in the comments. I do read those. If you're new here and want more of the same, consider subscribing, because people judge you based on that number when you're a content creator. I want to try to make one of these relationships videos a week. I probably will fail at that, but I'd like to try at least. Big thanks also to my awesome patrons who support me more directly over on Patreon. Really helps me buy 4 Loko and pay my bills. I don't think I'm done for this week. I still have some plans, but we'll see what happens. Have a great day, everyone, and... Again, you say I need chicks, but you don't have the hookup. Pay attention to my based posts about socioeconomics and politics. Stay on the real narrative, and don't make it about me. This guy lists himself as a public figure and says not to make it about him. Right.